Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina welcomes decision of Jatiya Oiko Front to take part in election. Election Commission wants participatory polls decision on shifting election schedule tomorrow, says Chief Election Commissioner. Distribution of Awami League nomination form ends tomorrow. Dhanmondi office witnesses heavy rush on Thursday. Jatiya Party starts selling of nomination form. Death toll rises to 25 in California wildfire in United States. President Trump blames poor forest management. And in Dhaka Test, Bangladesh scored 303 for 5 in opening day against Zimbabwe. Mominul Haq and Mushfiqur Rahim hit century. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Alicia Ibrahim welcoming you to News at 10 on BTV, BTV World and BTV Chattogram Center.
Assalamu alaikum, and I'm Shaneen Ziauddin with you. You've just heard the headlines and now on to the details. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has welcomed the Jatiya Oiko Front decision to take part in the 11th Jatiya Sangshad election, saying their decision would strengthen the democracy. Participation of all political parties would strengthen the democracy as well as the pace of development, she said, while chairing a meeting of Awami League Parliamentary Nomination Board as the party president at the Awami League's central office at Bangabandhu Avenue this afternoon. She said now her government would remain careful so that everybody could get equal opportunity to make the election a participatory one. The Prime Minister said Bangladesh was moving ahead and her party always wanted to continue the present pace of development and the trend should not be stopped.
নির্বাচন অবাধ সুষ্ঠু নিরপেক্ষ হোক তার কারণ হচ্ছে যে আমরা জানি যে এই নির্বাচনে জনগণ যাদেরকে ভোট দেবে তারা সরকার গঠন করবে এবং আমরা সবসময়টাই চাই যে আমরা যে উন্নয়ন করেছি তার ধারাটা যেন অব্যাহত থাকে বাংলাদেশ যে এগিয়ে যাচ্ছে এর গতিটা যেন কোনো মতে থেমে না যায় আর এই গতিটা যেন অব্যাহত থাকে এবং বাংলাদেশকে আমরা যেভাবে গড়ে তুলতে চাই উন্নত সমৃদ্ধ দেশ হিসেবে সেভাবে যেন গড়ে তুলতে পারি সেদিকে দৃষ্টি রেখে আমরা আলাপ আলোচনা করি একটা গণতান্ত্রিক পরিবেশ ফিরে আসুক এবং সকলে আমরা মিলে একসাথে নির্বাচন করব জনগণ যাকে চাইবে তাকে ভোট দেবে সেটাই আমরা সুনির্দিষ্ট করেছি সেটা আমরা করব সবাইকে স্বাগত জানাই যে প্রত্যেকে নির্বাচনে অংশগ্রহণ করবেন বলে মতামত দিয়েছেন যেটা গণতান্ত্রিক ধারাকে আরো শক্তিশালী করবে এবং দেশের অর্থনৈতিক উন্নতিও ত্বরান্বিত হবে যেটা আমরা আশা করি আর আমাদের পার্লামেন্টারি বোর্ড ইতিমধ্যে আমরা নমিনেশন পেপার দিয়েছি যারা নমিনেশন চাচ্ছেন সবাই ইন্টারভিউ নেব সবার সঙ্গে আলাপ করব এবং আমরা চেষ্টা করব সবসময় যে যারা উপযুক্ত প্রার্থী তাদেরকে নমিনেশন দিতে আমরা সাধারণত আওয়ামী লীগ আমাদের নিজেদের যে 300 সিটের নমিনেশনটা আমরা ঠিক করি আর এরপর জোটবদ্ধভাবে করার জন্য যে যে জায়গা সিট খালি করে দিয়ে অন্যকে জায়গা করে দেওয়া সেটা আমরা করি সবসময় আমরা যে প্রথাটা অনুসরণ করেছি সেই প্রথাই আমরা করব
Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir said his party will have no objection if the Election Commission defers the polls schedule. Obaidul Qadir said it is the jurisdiction of the Election Commission whether they will defer the polls schedule or not, but the EC has to talk with the major political parties on this issue. Awami League Office Secretary Dr. Abdul Sobhan Golab and General Secretary of Dhaka City South Awami League Shah-e-Alam Murad were present among others. Obaidul Qadir said collection and submission of nomination papers of Awami League will continue till 6 p.m. tomorrow. He said that the candidates of 14 party will participate in the upcoming election with the symbol of boat. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has said her government aimed to ensure the fairness of the upcoming elections to strengthen the democracy and intensify the development process. She said this as Bangladesh Awami Jubo League leaders and workers called on her at Ganabhavan this morning on the occasion of the front's 46th founding anniversary. Sheikh Hasina said the reality is unless a political party takes part in elections, it loses its strength and expected other political parties to join the elections, through which the democracy would be strengthened further and country would be more developed. The Prime Minister said her government took many mega projects and is spearheading a massive anti-poverty campaign, which already reduced poverty rate to 21% from 41%. The development drive should continue through Awami League's re-election, she added. Referring to a recent query by BNP chairperson Khaleda Zia wondering why Sheikh Hasina was not being prosecuted like her in the NICU case, the Prime Minister said investigators had interrogated her as well while she was confined during the past military-backed interim regime. The Prime Minister said she had challenged the World Bank's corruption allegations against her regarding the Podda Bridge, while a Canadian federal court eventually dismissed the case of corruption allegations involving the project, terming it fabricated and baseless. The Prime Minister asked the Jubilee leaders and workers to serve the nation by winning the greed and fear. The people who could triumph the greed and fear will be able to deliver something to the nation and the country, she said. Sheikh Hasina also urged the Jubilee leaders and workers to devote themselves to building a developed and prosperous Bangladesh following the ideology of Bangabandhu. Jubilee Chairman Omar Farooq Chaudhry presided over the function, while General Secretary Haruna Rashid also spoke after the leaders of the organization greeted the Prime Minister by presenting bouquets.
Meanwhile, to mark the 46th anniversary, Awami Jubilee, led by its chairman Omar Farooq Chaudhry, placed wreaths at the portrait of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman at Dhanmondi 32 in Dhaka this morning. General Secretary, Presidium members and central leaders of Jubilee were present. Later, leaders of Jubilee Dhaka City South and North placed wreath at the portrait of Bangabandhu. Chief Election Commissioner K.M. Nurul Huda has said Election Commission wants to make upcoming election participatory with all political parties joining polls. He said this while talking to the journalists at the Nirbachan Bhavan at Agargaon in the capital today. Replying to a query, the Chief Election Commissioner said tomorrow the Election Commission will take the decision whether the schedule for the 11th parliamentary election is to be shifted or not. Earlier, a 4-member delegation of Awami League, led by its organizing secretary, Muhibul Hasan Chaudhry Naufal, went to the Election Commission. They handed over a list of political parties taking part in election under an alliance using boat as election symbol. The sale of Awami League's nomination papers continued for the 3rd consecutive day for the 11th parliamentary elections. Supporters of nomination aspirants gathered in front of Awami League President's political office at Dhanmondi in the capital. For this, a festive mood prevailed at the Awami League President's Dhanmondi office. Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir visited the 8 form selling booth today. Meanwhile, Bangladesh ODI cricket captain Mashrafi bin Murtaza bought the Awami League nomination form for the upcoming national parliamentary elections. He picked up the form from Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir at the party's Dhanmondi office. Jatiyo Oikofront has announced its decision to participate in the upcoming 11th parliamentary elections. Oikofront leader Dr. Kamal Hussain briefed reporters on its decision at the National Press Club in Dhaka today. He demanded deference on the current election schedule by 1 month and announcement of a new schedule. BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir, on behalf of Dr. Kamal Hussain, read out a written statement of the Oikofront.
Visiting U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary of State on Refugee and Repatriation Affairs in Africa and Asian region, Richard Albright, has said Rohingya repatriation should be safe, voluntary and dignified. Easy access must be ensured in Rakhine State for the UN, international donors and human rights agencies, he added. He was briefing to the journalists after visiting the UNHCR transit camp adjacent to Kutupalang Rohingya camp at Ukhia in Cox's Bazar today. Earlier, he visited Konarpar Rohingya camp at Ghundur near Bangladesh-Myanmar border. Richard Albright talked to Rohingyas at no man's land and listened to their stories of torture and oppression by Myanmar forces. Later, he visited different blocks of Kutupalang Rohingya camp. Commerce Minister Toufail Ahmed has said the development of Bangladesh is being admired all over the world and Bangladesh is advancing in every sector. He said this at a seminar arranged by Asian Development Bank on business opportunities in Dhaka today. Secretaries of the Economic Relations Division, Monwar Ahmed, and ADB Country Director Monmohan Prakash spoke at the seminar. Toufail Ahmed said life standard of the countrymen has been upgraded along with the development of the country.
And now international news. The death toll in the wildfire raging through California has risen to 25, according to officials. This comes after 14 more bodies were discovered in or near the decimated town of Paradise in the state's north, bringing the number of confirmed dead there to 23. 2 more people were killed in the south near Malibu. An estimated 250,000 people have been forced to flee their homes to avoid 3 major blazes in the state. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump has drawn anger by saying that poor forestry management is to be blamed for the fires. Turkey says it has shared recordings related to the murder of the journalist and writer Jamal Khashoggi with the US, the UK, Saudi Arabia and others. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan repeated his assertion that Saudi Arabia knew who had killed Khashoggi. Khashoggi, a critic of Saudi rulers, was killed inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul on 2 October. Saudi Arabia has admitted he was murdered there, but denied suggestions its royal family was involved. World leaders have attended a ceremony in Paris commemorating the centenary of the armistice that ended World War I. US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin were among those who gathered for a service beneath the Arc de Triomphe. French President Emmanuel Macron and dignitaries marched in the Arc in the rain under black umbrellas while church bells tolled through the city. Many other events have been taking place around the world. Some 9.7 million soldiers and 10 million civilians died in World War I, which lasted from 1914 to 1918.
Now news and sports. Bangladesh scored 303 runs for 5 wickets in their first innings against Zimbabwe at stumps of day 1 in the second test of the 2-match series in Dhaka. At the end of the day, Mushfiqur Rahim was unbeaten on 111 runs after completing his 6th test century, while Mahmudullah Riyad was on the crease with 0 runs. Earlier, Bangladesh won the toss and decided to bat first. The Tigers lost Imrul Qais, Liton Das and debutant Mohammad Mithun only on 26 runs and faced big trouble. But Mominul Haq and Mushfiqur Rahim made a 4th wickets record partnership of 266 runs for Bangladesh. Mominul Haq has fulfilled his 7th test century and scored 161 runs. Bangladesh is trailing by 1-0 in the 2 matches test series. To end the bulletin, headlines once again. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina welcomes decision of Jatiyo Oiko Front to take part in election. Election Commission wants participatory polls. Decision on shifting election schedule tomorrow, says Chief Election Commissioner. Distribution of Awami League nomination forms ends tomorrow. Dhanmondi office witnesses heavy rush on 3rd day. Jatiyo Party starts selling of nomination form. Death toll rises to 25 in California wildfire. United States, President Trump blames poor forest management. And in Dhaka Test, Bangladesh scored 303 for 5 in opening day against Zimbabwe. Mominul Haq and Mushfiqur Rahim hit century.
And that is all from the newsroom at the moment. Thank you for staying with us, and we invite you to watch our 11:30 Bangla News. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz.
জাগো বহে কণ্ঠে সবাই